You've had pho, you love it, you're addicted already. Today I'm gonna show you 3 more Vietnamese soups that are equally delicious, maybe even better, that you should try the next time you go to your local Vietnamese spot. Of course I love pho as much as the next person, and I really do think it is the perfect dish to introduce the globe to Vietnamese cuisine. But once I moved to Vietnam and realized how much of a soup culture or soup cuisine this country is, it completely changed my opinion on what a soup can be or what a soup is. So the first soup we're gonna get to help you expand your palate in terms of Vietnamese cuisine is called bún mọc. And I'm putting this at number 3, mostly because it's a northern dish, so it might be hard for you to find abroad. It's a relatively popular dish, but since most of the Vietnamese overseas are southern, this dish might be a little hard. But if you do find it, I definitely recommend you try it. So bún is round rice noodle, and mọc refers to like a type of pork meatball. So basically if you just have some ground pork and then you just like leave it in the blender and blend it until it's like a smooth paste, then you'll get this sort of mọc texture, this pork paste texture. In the way that like pho bò is basically like a celebration of beef, it's just like beef, beef, beef. Bún mọc is a celebration of pork. It's all pork. Pork broth, many different kinds of pork meatballs and pork toppings on top of it. So we're heading to a new spot today I never tried, but it was recommended to me, so we'll try it together. When my wife heard we were eating soups today, she wanted to come along, so we'll share a bowl. You want chả?
Yeah.
They have a sign here that says it will be more delicious if you add a little satay. So we'll add a little satay when it comes. Come on. Tuck young. This is a big old bowl. So we have a really clean pork broth inside, the round rice noodle, sliced pork meat. This is the mọc, or aka the pork meatball. Although here's it looks like more coarsely ground. It's not so pasty, which is kind of interesting. I don't see any pork rib or pork trotter. You'll see that sometimes as well. Let's give this a try. It is pretty damn good, and a pretty damn big bowl too. This is 70,000, this is like $3. I'm sure it won't be $3 in the States though. So this is just a really light, clean pork broth. There's very little complexity and flavor to it right now, but this will always be served with shrimp paste, so if you want to add a little more complexity, you can. But first I'm gonna add some vegetable. Banana flour, bean sprout, and some herbs. They told me to add the satay, so I have to. And this comes with kumquat. They'll probably have lime in the West or in America, but a little acidity if you want it. And the big kicker is the shrimp paste, so you can add this if you want. This is gonna be super funky, very strong flavor. Oh, that's not shrimp paste, that's chili sauce. So probably better add a little bit of this at a time, because this is gonna dramatically change the flavor. Now the flavor is totally different. Super interesting, super complex now. I think that's tongue. Oh yeah, that's pork tongue. Oh, that's cool. There's like sliced pork trotter and sliced pork tongue. And the meat here is tender, still got some chew to it at this particular location. Now here's what the dish is named after, these little meatballs. This bowl's a pretty standard bowl of bún mọc. It's really good. But the meatball here is different than other places because it is a little bit more textural and it has some shiitake mushrooms inside, so it's really, I like that a lot. Although I wish it had this kind of meatball plus the other style that I'm used to that's more smooth. Let's see what the lady thinks of this bowl. Yeah, you like it? Try the mọc, see if you like that texture or not.
Yeah. I like your seasoning.
You like my seasoning of it?
Yeah.
If I knew I was just eating this bowl myself, I'd probably put more satay.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Try that, see if you like the mọc.
The mọc is different.
Yeah, different, right? A little more texture and the shiitake inside. Yeah, it's good. Do you think foreigners will like bún mọc, like a normal foreigner? Not your unique husband. just a random normal American. Yeah, I think they'll like it too.
You remember when we had the restaurant in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
And we have a chicken soup.
Yeah.
It's just so simple,
Yeah.
but they love it.
Yeah. I think this is good for all foreigners because if you don't put the shrimp paste inside, it's very simple and very, very mild. And pretty much anybody will like it that eats pork, as long as you eat pork. And then if you want to go more and more Vietnamese, you can put some shrimp paste inside and try that. It's always a good idea though when you're trying to season these bowls, especially with something kind of new ingredient, just put a little soup in a side bowl and then you can try to put just a drop of mắm tôm and see if you like that flavor. Especially mắm tôm because it's so strong and you either like it or don't. And then you can try it. It's just always a good tip when you're seasoning a new bowl. So it's nice when you go out and eat with somebody else, when you're gonna go eat a lot of food because you don't have to eat so much and you can share. But then the bad part is that when you're ready to take another bite, you gotta fight this lady over here. Let's see, the bowl's getting pushed over. That's good. I'm just joking. But it's good. It is nice to share with somebody though. It's like, you don't have to tag a whole bowl down. Because this is a relatively simple dish, I think you'll be able to find this in the States. The only thing, you probably won't get banana flour, you'll probably get shaved cabbage instead, but the bowl you get should look pretty damn similar to this. There might have been an accident over here. Let's go see. We heard something. Oh no. It's so rare. I've seen accidents. So rare. The bike's under the car. You can see that. I'm sure you can see that. The person seems okay. I don't see any blood. That's a bummer. I don't feel good about putting a camera in anybody's face like that. The person seems okay. They can't walk well. It's super rare. I see accidents in Vietnam. Typically what you're gonna see is just like somebody slid it out when it's raining. That's happened to me before, once or twice. But you know, it's kind of no big deal. You pick your bike and keep going. It's a bummer. Bao nhiêu? 94. Less than $4 for. Come on, yeah. Come on. Mappa Dai ngon. So that was about $4 with soup, 2 iced teas, and a coffee. All right, ready? It sucks. I don't know what happened in the accident. I don't know truly who was at fault, but I know that this taxi driver is going to be in a lot of trouble. Even if it really was the motorbike's fault and he was like just being an idiot, if the taxi hits him, he gets in trouble. Typically, like a lot of things happen here, it's just the bigger vehicle is at fault, or the bigger vehicle, no matter what, has some responsibility. Hopefully the guy doesn't lose his job or anything. Unless, of course, he's a terrible driver, then hopefully he does. So this is Bun Map 32 Huang Ngoc V. We're in District 7. It's a pretty good bowl. So I could recommend it if you're in Saigon around this area. You're craving Bun Map, definitely a spot to come to. Anytime this kind of thing happens, they don't move the bike, they don't move anything. The police come and they like survey the situation and really spend a lot of time marking it out. So that'll probably be there for another 20-30 minutes until they completely investigate it. But today's not about car accidents, today's about soup. Let's go get some more soup. So the next dish we're gonna get is called bún riêu. Bún is round rice noodle. Riêu refers to any dish that uses this ground up crab meat. So this is a really interesting soup because the crab that they're using is not like an ocean crab. This is a crab that grows in the mud fields or in the rice fields. It's like a very small black crab that's too small to pick the meat out of. So instead they just grind up the whole crab and then they strain out like all the shells from the paste that they made. And then they use that to make sort of like a meatball or like a cake. And that's kind of one of the bigger flavorings of the soup. This is a very interesting soup, very popular from the north to the south. In each region it has its own unique style. It can be pretty interesting to spot all the differences between a northern, a southern, and a central style bowl. Today we're gonna go to a spot again in District 7 because I'm in District 7, and this spot is one of my favorite spots to get this soup. I think it's super fantastic. If you start talking to locals about this dish, there will be so many Vietnamese to tell you this is their favorite soup. This is their #1. Although this location can be really hot if you're sitting inside. So if you do want to check this spot out, just be prepared to sweat. Although I'd say it's worth it. This is a pretty damn good bowl. For me, it's definitely up there. I mean, obviously it's on this list, so it's up there for me. Oh, this is it right up here. Oh, they have goi kun today? Ooh, they never have goi kun. They're always sold out of goi kun. This place is like super delicious. Not only do they have bún riêu, they also have a really good bowl of bún mắm and a good bowl of bún bò. But if you're in D7 in the Nha Bay area, like this is worth checking out. It's a really good spot. So because they offer 4 different dishes here, they have a lot of side condiments. We have more shrimp paste like we had at the other spot, some fresh chopped chili, fish sauce, satay, although it'll be a little bit of different flavor. And then here is like a tamarind sauce that would be usually eaten with the bún mắm. And then we also have chili sauce, hoisin sauce, and we have a very similar vegetable like we had at the other place. Except for this soup, we're also gonna have some water spinach as well, shaved. Sometimes when you eat bún mắm, you also will get that as well, but the last place just didn't serve it. Come on. Whoa, perfect timing. Bada frickin' bang, look at this baby. Inside bún riêu, we're always going to expect to see fried tofu, some sort of tomato. You're going to find a piece of pork fillet inside. And then we're always going to expect that sort of crab cake. And that's what this is right here. So this is the crab paste that I was talking about before that's been boiled to make the broth. They strain out the crab paste and then they mix it with egg and then they like steam it. Come on. A lot of places you get this from, it'll always be kind of a different shape. This one's sliced like a loaf. Sometimes you'll see it like a meatball. Sometimes you'll see it just scooped out like a pasty thing. It's really different everywhere. And because this is just an awesome bowl, we're also seeing some pork sausage here. Another kind of pork sausage. This is a fish cake, and then this bowl is gonna have op inside, so we're gonna see some snails inside here as well, which is fairly common for certain styles. If you've never had a snail before, they're not scary at all. There's very, very little flavor, just kind of crunchy. Crunchy, chewy, soft at the same time. It's weird. This street's super busy and loud, but it's a great bowl. Let's give this broth a try. Right away, this has much more going on than the bún mắm. A lot more character, a little bit more seafood element to it. Let's add our veg and season this up. So I'm gonna go with that banana flour, some bean sprout, and some water spinach. Here I'm gonna go with some fresh chili. I probably want to add a little bit more, but I'm sharing this bowl again. I'm aware of her palate. A little bit of fish sauce. I want a little bit more salt. And this will be another very common dish to eat with mom tom. So add a little bit of the shrimp paste too, if you like it. I think this stuff is like the more you eat it, the more you like it, and then you start craving this flavor. Although it might take you 10 years before you start craving that flavor. All right, give this a good mix. So obviously, this is gonna have pork, this is going to have shellfish inside, so if you have any allergens, be aware of that. And the tofu, so we'll have soy as well. But there should be no gluten in this. So let's try that little crab cake. Super soft, eggy, seafoody, kind of a dry shrimp flavor a little bit. And like Vietnamese will always describe that to you as a crab cake. Don't come in expecting it to be a crab cake. It's not a crab cake that you've grown up in the West. It's more of like a crab omelet or like an eggy. It's more of a crab omelet, that's what it is, yeah. Very soft, oceanic. Yeah, it's good. I got a little pennywort juice too. Let's try the broth now and see where we're at. Ooh, that is good. Chị ơi, có miếng chanh? Yeah, a little acidity. Come on, yeah. Okay, she hooked us up. Oh yeah. This is a great bowl of bun ryu. I don't know why this bowl feels so rich to me. It just kind of feels creamy, even though there's no cream or anything. And I always love the tofu in here. Typically, I would order extra tofu, but we're eating so much today, I don't want extra tofu. But I love the fried tofu that cooks in the soup and absorbs all the broth. It gets so soft. All right, my wife's looking at me. She needs it. I know those eyes. I see it. She's like, can you stop with your fucking video? No, I want you to take your bite so I can get more. It's really good.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Do they have snails?
Yeah, they got snail too.
Ooh, I like blood and snail.
Yeah, my wife likes blood and snails. What a unique woman. Who did I marry? A Viet. Just a normal Viet girl. But you know what? I like blood and snails too. And this bowl is 50,000. It's so cheap. Oh my God. This is a $2 bowl. It's pretty damn incredible. And it's not like it's light on meat. There's a lot of crap in there. They asked us if they wanted pork trotter. I typically don't really like that. Again, my wife didn't want it today. But you can get that with trotter. That would be pretty normal. It's a very normal looking bowl. Although I think this is a top tier bowl. I think it's super delicious. Do you think it's delicious? Delicious, right? Yeah. Anytime you order bun ryu, you can expect a bowl to look pretty much like this. Although here, I think they give you a good amount of meat for the money. And the flavor of the soup is fantastic. So, chị ơi, cho em một gói cuốn. Yeah, but this place on the menu has gỏi cuốn or a summer roll, aka a spring roll if you're from California. Okay, anyway. But they're usually sold out, and today they have some, so I'm gonna try one. Fresh rice paper, shrimp, pork inside, some herbs, probably some rice noodles as well, with like a little bit of a hoisin and peanut sauce. Now just ignore this part. This video is not about this, but I just want to eat it. Standard, typical, normal, good. Pretty good deal. This is a good spot. You should check this out if you're here. Cam tú. Cam tú. So before we grab the last bowl for this video, we're gonna go home and take a little break, let our stomachs recover, and then we'll go out and get the last thing. Today we're talking about if you love pho, here's some other soups for you to try. Well, if you love Vietnamese iced coffee, which obviously you do, who doesn't love it, there's a new kind of coffee I think you should try as well. So we're gonna go get that next on our way home. So there's a coffee that I think started in Hue, in like central Vietnam, called Cafe Moi. Cafe Moi?
Muối.
Cafe Moi. Cafe is coffee, obviously. Moi is salt. So you can think of this as salted coffee or coffee with salt. But really what this is basically a Vietnamese iced coffee, your traditional classic cafe soda, and then it has like a salted whipped cream on top. So it's even more luxurious, it's even more creamy, and then it has a little salt component, so it just gets better. If your Vietnamese iced coffee wasn't like a dessert already, this makes it even more dessert level. Whoa, a little tight there. And probably came to Saigon, I don't know, I'm guessing 6, 8, 10 years ago, something like that. It is now extremely popular. And there's some coffee chains or coffee branches that just specialize in this type of coffee, although most coffee places will now offer it as an option. It's becoming a pretty classic for a lot of people. Em ơi, cho anh một ly cà phê muối. Cà phê muối Sài Gòn. You want something?
No.
So damn good. So you can see we have dual layer thing going on. We got the coffee on the bottom, the white cream on the top. You can mix it up if you want. I typically don't mix it. I tend to like to slowly bring it in. You want to try it?
No.
You want to try it, Tree? But this is salted cream on top. You're not curious? You want to try it? Try it. Here, let me try to drink from the top part where the cream is at, not so deep on the bottom, because the bottom's gonna be more bitter. You like it? Do you like it? No?
A little bit.
A little bit. I don't think he's really ever had coffee before. I don't typically give it to him.
There's sugar in?
There's a lot of sugar. There's a lot of sugar. But it's not incredibly sweet because of the bitterness of the coffee and because the cream is unsweetened. It's just salted. So it really just adds another richness to it. This is incredibly delicious. I don't drink these often at all because I don't need the extra calories. But when I get it, I always enjoy it. You want to try it? You can have just a teeny sip, okay?
Why is Jay trying it?
Because it's good. She likes coffee. Yeah? She always steals mine.
Yeah.
You can have it. Go ahead. That's okay. Go ahead.
She always likes it.
What do you think?
It's disgusting.
Disgusting!
No, it's not.
That's fine. I'm glad you don't like it. That's good. Yeah, I don't want. Just not good for you guys to drink. You shouldn't be drinking.
know, you're right.
It has a lot of caffeine. That's not good for you kids to
What's
drink.
caffeine?
Caffeine is a drug that keeps you awake. It's delicious.
You
Though.
know why it keeps you awake? It has the same molecular structure as the same chemical that makes you fall asleep. And it blocks it when it comes in.
Interesting. If you see it at your local spot, I would definitely try it. We came home. We're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna go out and get our third bowl. So we'll see you guys in a minute. So last but absolutely not least is the OG, the king soup. Bún bò Huế. Bún is round rectangular balls. Beef and Huế is the city that it comes from. This to me is potentially the best soup ever out of Vietnam and maybe even the best dish in Vietnamese cuisine. Truly something fantastic. This should be the dish that you are looking for after pho. It is the second most popular soup. It is older than pho. It was originally created for the king. So this is a royal dish. We're at Bún bò Via Sua, which is a very popular bún bò spot in District 7. So if you're in Saigon, this is a good place to come to. Very busy, very delicious. A little bit pricey, but good. Okay. In a typical special or loaded bowl of bún bò Huế, we're gonna get a combination of meats, including beef and pork. So in this bowl, we're getting a crab and pork sausage. We're getting a traditional style pork sausage, some shaved beef shank, some boiled pork trotter. It's also very typical to get pork blood in bún bò as well. And then we have the thick round rice noodle. The vegetable on the side is going to be bean sprouts, banana flour, and water spinach. This place also has some lettuce and some Thai basil in the mix. I'm going to season this with a little bit of lime juice and some satay as well. This stuff is so spicy here, be careful. Give this a mix. You can see this bowl is just loaded with texture. There's so much going on in every single bowl of bún bò. The flavor of bún bò is so much more complex and interesting than pho. The broth of bún bò Huế is flavored with beef and pork, lemongrass, pineapple, and mắm ruc, which is a type of shrimp paste as well. This makes the flavor so deep and so much more interesting than pho, at least in my opinion. This spot is excellent, and I love how thin they shave the beef shank here. It's so good. Bún bò is such a freaking good dish, and to me, a must try. If you're new to Vietnamese cuisine, this is the next thing to try. Super interesting in flavor, but not overly complex, not overly spicy right away, although you can make it spicy if you want to. It's just so unique and texturally interesting with all the different vegetables in there, similar to the bún riêu. The broth of this does have some shrimp paste in it, although it's different than the shrimp paste that we've had in the bún mop and the bún riêu. It's a different kind, and it's cooked into the stock, so it's kind of more subtle flavor instead of adding at the end. So it's not so aggressive, although that depends on the location that you're at. But I think this is something that everyone should try, and you can see even my kids like it. So it's not like it's scary enough or strong enough that it scares kids away. Yeah, I hope you try it. I hope this video gives you some more confidence and curiosity to go try some dishes at your local Vietnamese restaurants. If you are traveling to Saigon or you have friends are, make sure you share this video to them. I gave you 3 great spots to try, and if you want me to take you around Saigon for a food tour, check out chadgoodenough.com. Until next time, see you later.